Hey there, welcome to Fun Learn Talks, the podcast where we break down business, technology, and history into stories that sparks your mind and makes you smarter. I'm Anu, and we explore ideas that shaped the world from empires and entrepreneurs to code and culture. If you love connecting dots and asking why things are the way they are, you're in the right place. Let's get started with today's story. Imagine an ancient world shrouded in mystery and steeped in legend. Here, in the heart of what would become China, a giant, hatched from a cosmic egg, swings an axe and sculpts the universe itself. His name is Pangu, and as he grows, the heavens and the earth stretch further apart. This isn't just a story, it's the epic beginning of a civilization that has fascinated the world for centuries. As Pangu's legacy fades, the divine Nüwa steps forward. To mend a shattered sky, she uses colored stones, and some say she even crafted the first humans from clay. This blending of divine intervention and earthly existence sets the stage for a saga that spans millennia. Fast forward through time, around 780,000 years ago, and we find ourselves near what is now Beijing by the banks of the ancient Yellow River. This river, a cradle of life, nourished a landscape teeming with wildlife, from wild pigs to saber-toothed cats. Here, our ancestors, including the Peking man, tread cautiously, their survival a daily testament to their resilience and ingenuity. In these fertile plains, the seeds of civilization were sown. Two tribes, the Huá and the Xià, ancestors to the modern Han Chinese, thrive and innovate. Around 13,000 years ago, an artist among them carves a tiny bird from bone, creating what would be remembered as the earliest animal sculpture in East Asia. But this was just the beginning. As the era progressed, the advent of farming marked the dawn of the Neolithic age. In the north, grains of millet took root in the arid soil, while in the lush south, paddies of rice swayed. Communities formed, surrounded by walls, their homes a patchwork of mud, brick, and stone. Here, creativity flourished. People shaped clay into bowls, carved jade into amulets, and wove patterns into life. Let's ponder a number for a moment. By 3630 BCE, the Chinese had already mastered the art of sericulture, producing silk that would one day drape the shoulders of emperors and adorn the corridors of power. This ancient craft was predominantly the domain of women, who nurtured silkworms and spun their precious threads into gold, so to speak. Silk, this remarkable invention, not only clothed the ancient Chinese, but also connected them with distant lands through trade and diplomacy. Now, how did they come to discover the secrets locked within a simple cocoon? Picture this: Madame Xling sitting under a mulberry tree, tea in hand, when destiny, in the form of a cocoon, drops into her cup. As the warm tea begins to unravel the cocoon, a thread emerges, strong and shimmering. Xuling's curiosity paves the way for a discovery that will change the fabric of their society literally. As with many great tales, there's a twist. Others claim it was the Yellow Emperor, Seiling's husband, who first unlocked the magic of silk. Regardless of who deserves the credit, the result is a legacy of innovation and beauty that endures today. From the cosmic battles of gods to the humble discoveries by the riverbanks, every thread of history contributes to the rich tapestry of China's past. This is not just the story of a people, but of humanity's relentless pursuit of understanding and mastery over the elements. Let's carry forward, weaving new stories into the old, always remembering the ancient tales of creation, struggle, and enlightenment that brought us here. So, as we dive into the heart of ancient Chinese mythology and history, we're met with a figure larger than life, the Yellow Emperor. Picture this: he's not just a ruler, but a legendary inventor. We're talking boats, wooden houses, and even a calendar. But that's not all. He also supposedly crafted a bamboo pan flute tuned to the echo of the mythical phoenix. Now, just imagine the harmonious sound it would make, almost as if capturing the essence of an ancient mystical land. Here's where it gets even more intriguing. As a mighty general, the Yellow Emperor wasn't just battling rival tribes. No, he was up against horned demons and giants, to unify the tribes above the Yellow River. You can't help but marvel at how these tales blur the lines between history and myth. Now, another fascinating aspect of the Yellow Emperor is his ties to the invention of writing, believed to underpin the claim that China has 5,000 years of recorded history. Yet, when we look at the actual evidence, the earliest hard script we find is around 3,500 years old. This places Chinese writing among the oldest worldwide, right after the scripts of the Sumerians and Egyptians, and possibly on par with the Minoans. Think about that. What a testament to human civilization's ingenuity. And the Yellow Emperor's story doesn't end there. Historically, he's been a cult figure since the 5th century BCE. The Han Chinese see him and his successor, the Fiery Emperor, as their spiritual and lineage forebears. It's this seamless blending of deity and dynasty that continues to captivate and perhaps even define a part of the cultural identity. Transitioning from myth to slightly more grounded history, we meet the Shah dynasty, starting around 2000 BCE. This era was marked by other legendary emperors like Yao, Shun, and Yu, and paints a picture of a civilization on the brink of the historical age. As we step forward into time, history starts to solidify around the Shang dynasty, about 600 years after the Xia, when bronze casting began. Notably, the Shang dynasty is recognized not just for its longevity over 6 centuries starting from the 16th century BCE, but for introducing a range of sophisticated cultural practices. Here's something that brings the Shang dynasty to life. The rulers were warlike and deeply spiritual, believers in gods to whom they'd offer human sacrifices. They observed a rich social structure, complete with slaves, musicians, and dancers, and kings who practiced polygamy liberally, a social norm captured perfectly in the language of marriage in Chinese, where a man takes a wife and a woman is given in marriage. Now, get this. The Shang dynasty had a detailed knowledge of astronomy and time. They developed a calendar syncing lunar cycles with the solar year and devised a technique to break days further into 12 2-hour blocks. This method of timekeeping remarkably lasted for over 3.5 millennia. Our understanding of Shang's intricate society owes much to the oracle bones. These are not ordinary bones, but divination tools. The shoulders of oxen and plastrons of tortoises were inscribed with questions about harvests, wars, or even personal health. These inscriptions, heated until they cracked, were then interpreted by Shang shamans. This oracle bone script marks the dawn of Chinese writing and brings us characters carved in tortoise shells and ox bones that are recognized even today. Interestingly, Chinese characters are a delightful mix of pictorial genius and linguistic efficiency. Take Ri for sun and Yue for moon, for instance. Blend them, and you get Ming, meaning bright. You see, each character isn't just a crude drawing but a clever representation of sound, sense, and semantics. The character for horse, Ma, is so vividly designed you can almost see the horse's mane in the wind. This fusion of art, language, and culture encapsulated in oracle bone script is not just fascinating. It's a profound glimpse into the minds of an ancient people trying to make sense of the world around them in beautiful, symbolic forms. Now, isn't that something? As we peek through the cracks of these ancient bones, we uncover a civilization that was complex, deeply connected to its natural and supernatural elements, and remarkably advanced in its timekeeping and writing. Such a rich and enduring history, distilled from myth and etched onto bones, continues to whisper secrets of a time when giants walked the earth and gods ruled the skies. Let's pause for a moment and soak in the fascinating world of Chinese history, specifically during the time of the Shang dynasty. Imagine a society painted in strokes of grandeur and intricacies, and at the center of this vignette stands Fu Han, the consort to the Shang king Wu Han, Ding. Ding. Her life was anything but ordinary. Commanding an army of 13,000 men, drawn perhaps from her own dowry, she represented a force to be reckoned with. Let that sink in, leading thousands into battle during her reign, which was from around 1250 to 1192 BCE. This wasn't just about martial prowess, for Fu Hao also presided over spiritual ceremonies and divinations. Her influence and authority were further highlighted by her burial, which was marked by the presence of 4 battle axes in her tomb. Does this indicate a semi-matriarchal Shang society? It's certainly a possibility, given her high status and independent wealth. Shifting our gaze slightly, the Shang ruling class, including Fu Hao, were avid hunters, often buried alongside their favored hunting dogs and sometimes, tragically, their servants. But as time evolved, thankfully, this practice was replaced by burying figurines instead. Now, delve with me into the public's voice through the Book of Odes, one of the world's oldest poetry collections. The lyrics challenge the disparity they observe. You neither sow nor reap. So, how do you fill so many bins with grain? This poignant excerpt underscores the divide between the ruling elites and the common folks, capturing sentiments of resentment and social injustice. Meanwhile, the invention of writing profoundly transformed governance. Can you picture couriers riding swiftly on horseback, carrying messages written on silk or bamboo strips across vast distances? This innovation not only streamlined administration but also fortified the Shang's military might with advanced weaponry and communication tactics. But as the wheel of time turned, corruption seeped into the ranks of the Shang rulers. Their decline was marked by cruelty and neglect, culminating in a revolt led by a former vassal, the Zhou. Around 1122 BCE, the Zhou dynasty was ushered in, bringing about a shift that questioned how to replicate the effective governance of its initial rulers. This brings us to the Zhou dynasty, a period of monumental shifts. The early part, often referred to as the Western Zhou, was a golden era under the watchful eye of the Duke of Zhou, who acted as a regent for his young nephew. Here's something that might surprise you. During this regime, it is said that not a single crime was recorded for over 4 decades, a true testament to the stability and peace of the time. However, history's tides are ever changing. The Zhou faced invasions around 770 BCE, which weakened their hold and pushed their rulers eastward. This transition from the Western to the Eastern Zhou marked the dynasty's decline. The Eastern Zhou is split into 2 tumultuous periods, the Spring and Autumn period and the Warring States period. It was an age marked by violent clashes, where loyalty crumbled and states vied ferociously for dominance. Here's where the plot thickens. During this chaos emerged one of the world's seminal military treatises, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The text advocates strategic excellence over open confrontation, emphasizing attacking an enemy's plans before their cities. Interesting, right? As we travel through these ancient narratives, it's clear that the echoes of the past still resonate. From the might of a warrior like Fu Ho to the philosophical strategies of Sun Tzu, these stories not only depict the evolution of a civilization but also showcase the enduring human spirit across ages. Let's keep going as we uncover more tales woven into the rich tapestry of China's long and illustrious history. Imagine a time when mastery of the military meant winning wars without a single battle. In this enigmatic period, around the Zhou dynasty, China's vast empire stretched from the south of the Yangtze River to the northern steppes. But beyond the battlefield, this era was buzzing with intellectual ferment, seeding ideas that would grow and persist across centuries and continents. Let's pause for a second and look around the world at that time. To the west, in lands shrouded with spiritual awakenings, Siddhartha Gautama, who around 450 BCE found enlightenment and became known as the Buddha. In Asia Minor, philosophy was taking a bold new turn with Thales of Miletus, who, around 624 to 548 BCE, began to challenge the myth-driven explanations of the cosmos, setting the stage for giants like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. That's it for today's episode on Fun Learn Talks, where stories from business, technology, and history keep your curiosity alive. If you enjoyed the journey, make sure to follow, rate, or share it with a fellow curious mind. And hey, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment or connect with us online. I'm Anu, and I'll catch you next time, right here on Fun Learn Talks. Until then, keep learning, keep wondering.